Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Michael Carbone. I'm a business and immigration attorney in Staten Island, New York. Today, I want to talk about applying for naturalization in 2025 under the Trump administration. Now, before I dive into this topic, if you have any questions or you want to start a conversation, please drop a comment below. Otherwise, if you want to set up a formal legal consultation with me, visit us at carboneattorneys.com. We have a button in the top right corner of our website. Click it, fill it out, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So I'm sure everyone is certainly aware at this point that we are living under a second Trump administration, and this administration is very anti-immigrant. We are seeing crackdowns, we are seeing mass deportations, frankly, violations of the law, and a lot of process and procedure changes by the administration to impact our immigration system. Now, with all of that happening and happening very rapidly, a lot of legal permanent residents might be wondering, how am I at risk? What am I subject to? Could I be deported? Should I apply for naturalization? I'm not sure. So ultimately, I think the key here is that if you are eligible for naturalization and you have little to no complications with your potential naturalization case, I think you should apply. And the reason being, I think the benefits of US citizenship outweigh the risks of applying right now. In general, they are still accepting applications. USCIS is processing naturalization petitions. There is no word that petitions are being paused or any major impacts to the USCIS application system. So let's give a quick rundown of just some of the many benefits of becoming a US citizen. Number one, we're talking about permanent protection from deportation. Once you become a US citizen, you are no longer subject to deportation. You cannot be placed into deportation proceedings. You cannot be removed from the United States under the immigration system, which again applies to green card holders, visa holders, individuals that are not citizens of the United States. Now, there are denaturalization procedures under the immigration laws, but those are reserved for individuals who obtained their citizenship through fraud or they obtained their green card through fraud. And because in that situation, they may have obtained their green card through fraud, they should have never been able to naturalize because they committed fraud. So remember, although there are denaturalization procedures and you may hear about that in the news, it only applies to a small subset of people. You cannot denaturalize someone just because you want to. Number two, the next benefit of being a citizen is faster USCIS petition processing. Once you become a US citizen, you can now petition for immediate relatives. These are spouses, children who are unmarried and under 21 years old, and parents. That's a big one. So green card holders cannot petition for their parents, but US citizens can. And the key here is that for immediate relatives of US citizens, there's no preference categories, meaning there's no wait time for a visa. If you do not fall in the category as an immediate relative, you must wait. There are typically wait times that range from a couple of months to a couple of years to 20 plus years if you are in the fourth preference category, which is siblings of US citizens. So ultimately, when you become a US citizen, you can petition for family members and expect a speedier process. Number three, you can vote in federal elections. So when you are a US citizen, you can vote for your Congress member or for the President of the United States. This is a powerful right that is only available to US citizens. So if you want to engage in politics, if you want to, make your voice be heard through your vote as a US citizen, you can vote in federal elections. Number four is eligibility for employment with the federal government. So you can only work for the federal government if you are a US citizen. So by naturalizing and becoming a citizen, you have the option of applying for jobs that are available with the federal government. So we're talking about working for federal agencies, initiatives, different government bodies within the federal government. These jobs will become available to you once you become a US citizen. Next, number 5 is travel freedom with a US passport. So obviously, once you become a US citizen, you will be able to apply for and obtain a US passport, and that comes with a lot of travel advantages. The United States is a member of the Visa Waiver Program, which means we can travel to a lot of different countries without having to apply for a visa. This is powerful. This gives you the ability to travel to other countries and often stay there for longer than other individuals who are applying for visas and may have a limited period of time within which they can stay and have to leave that country. And number 6 is relief from having to apply for green card renewals and dealing with USCIS. Once you become a US citizen, you no longer have to deal with USCIS. You don't have to file any paperwork. You don't have to worry if your green card is going to expire. You don't have to pay the exorbitant fees that they charge to renew your green card and any other paperwork that you would have to file with USCIS. So that's obviously a big advantage, both from a time and money perspective. You don't have to deal with USCIS anymore, and you can go about your life not having to worry about that agency. So obviously not everyone is eligible for naturalization, and there are certain aspects that might prevent you from qualifying. Certainly criminal convictions are a big one, and the other big one is long times spent outside of the United States. So if you're in a situation where you've spent considerable time outside of the United States, it might be riskier to apply for naturalization at this time. As always, if you are interested in naturalization and you're a bit concerned about your situation, it's best to consult with an immigration attorney. Obviously, we can assess your situation and make a determination whether it makes sense for you to apply for naturalization at this time. So that's it. That's the video for today. Look, applying for naturalization when eligible is really important. And obviously, we are dealing with an administration that's very anti-immigrant. But until they shut down the immigration system, you can still apply, okay? So hopefully that day never comes. But if you are eligible for naturalization, you should be applying. If you like this video and you want to see more, please like, subscribe, and I'll keep making them.